Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. In today's training, you are going to learn two wonderful ways to manage stress. Now, remember, stress is a natural part of life. You can't run away from it. You can't hide from it. So you have to learn to deal with it. Now, in today's training, I'm going to share with you two ways that I handle stress in my life. And I know these ideas work for me. And when you apply them, they're also going to work for you too. So, what I'd like you to do now, if you're joining me here for the very first time in the Accelerate and Multiply community, say hello in the chat box below. If you're watching me live, say hello. If you're watching me on the replay, take a moment to say hello. Now, in this training, we're learning about stress. So please go to the chat box, type in the word stress. So press stress into the chat box there now, because this is what we're going to learn about today. Now, from my research, I have discovered the top 10 stresses for business people like you. And as I share these ideas, I'd also like to hear from you. Maybe what you're going through right now is on the list. And if it is impacting you, write down the one that it is. If it's not on the list, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to share it in the comments box, and I'd love to learn more from you. So if you're joining me live, this is on StreamYard. I'm going live into the Accelerate and Multiply group. If you're joining me live, just have a look at the top of this chat box, and what you'll find is you'll find a StreamYard link. It'll be a blue link. I want you to click that link, and it'll enable me to see who is live online. And rather than seeing this little message that says Facebook user says, "Good afternoon, Daniel," I'll be able to see your name. So make sure you just click that link in the top so I can see who's here with me. So as I mentioned, there's 10 big stresses for business owners. There's 10 big stresses for people who are starting out in business. The first one is managing staff. What we say is that the majority of our problems in life come with hair on top. And 42% of business people suffer stress as they manage their staff. The second one is administration. This is going to make you go bald. You're going to pull out all your hair. Admin. 35% of business people are stressed about administration tasks. The third one, feeling responsible for the company's success or the company failure. 31% of business people are suffering from this stress right now. So thanks for joining me this afternoon. If you're joining me for the first time, I want you to just to have a look at the top of this post, and there'll be a link there, and it'll enable you to share your screen name when I'm sharing here on StreamYard. So just head to the top of the post and give that permission there. Number four, the fourth biggest stress is keeping up with compliance. And more than 26% of business people right now are held back by that stress. Number 5 is overheads and expenses. Now, 24% of business people are stressed right now because of overheads and expenses. So what about you? Which of these so far hold you back? Which of these cause you the most amount of stress? Number 1, managing staff. Number 2 is admin. Number 3 is feeling responsible for the company's success or failure. Number 4 is keeping up with compliance. And number 5 are overhead and expenses. So these are the first 5. As we move down into the next 4, that'll give us the top 10. Hey, Jenny, going bald. You pull out your hair, you lose sleep over this one. Jenny, great to see you there this afternoon. Number 6 on the list. What brings business people stress is clients and keeping them happy. And about 23% of business people right now are experiencing that stress. Number 7 is imposter syndrome. This is a big one. And 20% of business people feel that stress of feeling like an imposter. It sounds a little bit like this. Business people will say, Daniel, I don't know how I got here. All of a sudden, I've got this successful business and I don't feel like I deserve it. I walk into this room with multimillionaires who have been slaving for years, and I've achieved all of this success in a very short period of time, and I don't feel that I'm worthy of this success. And they often feel like an imposter. A lot of business owners feel like an imposter because only last year they might have been an employee. And all of a sudden now they're an employer leading people who've got more experience than in the industry, who've got more life experience. And sometimes silently they don't feel they deserve these positions. And so about 20% of business people are experiencing that right now. Number 8 is filing taxes. 19% of business people are stressed right now because of taxes. Number 9 is time pressures. 17% of business people are held back right now because of time pressures. And number 10 is multitasking, jumping from this task to that task. And you might have had that experience before. You have a great plan for the day, and all of a sudden, all the distractions come in. And all of a sudden, you start to work on everything, do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And that is a big stress for business people. So these are the top 10 stresses for business people right now. And let me just recap them. And I want you to talk to me in the chat box now. What brings you the most amount of stress? Is it managing staff? Is it administration? Is it feeling responsible for the company's success or failure? Is it keeping up with compliance? Has it to do with overheads and expenses? Is your stress coming from clients and keeping them happy? Maybe it's imposter syndrome. Maybe it's filing the taxes. Maybe it's the time pressure, or maybe it's the multitasking. Okay. Jenny says, multitasking, feeling like an octopus. So true, isn't it? Sometimes just 2 arms and 2 legs is just not enough for us, Jenny. Now, when it comes to dealing with stress is a critical skill in business, and you can actually develop this skill. And I'd like to give you 2 wonderful ways I deal with stress in my business. The first thing that I do is I map out my day. And what I've learned is that when I map out my day, I experience less stress, I have greater focus, and I feel a sense of accomplishment. See, every time you put a map together and you achieve and arrive at your destination, you have a sense of accomplishment. Marina, good afternoon to you, and thank you for joining us here at the Accelerate and Multiply community. Thank you so much. So when we map out our day, we lower our stress levels, our focus is greater, and we feel a sense of accomplishment every time we achieve our goals. And what I recommend is that you map out every aspect of your day. Map out the start of your day, map out the middle of your day, and map out the end of your day. And when you put your plan in place and when you do it in advance, this really reduces your stress. What I've discovered is that all business people who map out their days experience less stress. Now, if you're a business owner or if you're starting your side hustle, this is incredibly important for you. And as you plan your day, what happens is you start to feel in control of your time. You start to feel in control rather than feeling out of control. You start to feel in control. And when you map out your day, you actually make fewer and fewer and fewer decisions. And that's really important because today we have to make so many decisions about our personal lives, about our professional lives, and about our businesses that we ended up experiencing what's called decision fatigue. So when you plan out your day in advance, you actually have to make less decisions. So you experience less fatigue. And what a lot of business people tell me today is that they're tired of making decisions. They are sick and tired of making decisions. If I had to count the decisions that I've made in my business today, I would probably have made 30 or 35 decisions, and I'm only halfway through the day. So if you can map out your day in advance, you can significantly reduce the amount of decisions that you have to make, and you won't feel as fatigued. So just remember, when you learn to map out your day, when you learn to plan your time, and when you do that, you can quickly eliminate stress immediately. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. Say hello. Let me know, are you joining me live or are you joining me on the replay? If you're joining me live, say hello and let me know, how do you manage stress? What is working for you? I'd also like to learn from you. And there's so many people in this community who can learn and who need to learn stress management techniques. Now, remember, managing your stress is free. It doesn't cost you anything to manage your stress. And as you do, you start to experience less stress. As I mentioned before, you have a greater sense of focus and you also feel a sense of accomplishment. Jenny, I would like to share my secret way to eliminate stress through tapping. Beautiful. Type it into the chat box below, Jenny. And I know that for your clients as a coach, they should also be learning those techniques. Okay, Facebook user, you know who you are. Please go to the top of this post. There'll be a blue link there. Click that blue link so StreamYard shows your name and I know who's here with me today. Mapping out the day will avoid procrastination. Absolutely. Feeling good about task accomplishment. Yes. All these hacks, they're worth a fortune to us in the long run. Now, the second thing that I do to manage stress is to get more sleep. And this is a really big one for me. Last night, I was absolutely exhausted last night. I woke up at 6 a.m. I did my affirmations. I drank 1.5 liters of water. I did my rolling, and then I climbed 1,000 stairs and I walked 5 kilometers in the morning. I walked another 5 kilometers at night. I'd worked all day, and by 8 p.m., I was absolutely shattered. And you probably feel the same way. I was absolutely shattered. And at 8 p.m., I said to Nini, I said, I just can't do anything else. There's absolutely nothing else that I can do. I'm exhausted. And see, when you don't get enough sleep, that causes you to experience more stress. When you don't get enough sleep, you experience more stress at higher levels for longer periods of time. And so you've got to understand that you need a lot of sleep. You've got to make decisions. What follows your decisions are all of your actions. And what follows your actions are your results. And if you're not getting the results that you want, it all comes back to those decisions. And when we're experiencing fatigue, especially decision fatigue, we can't make good decisions. And to make a good decision, you've got to have a lot of sleep. The billionaires, they know this. People like Jeff Bezos, he encourages his leaders to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep every single night. And Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, knows that himself and his team of leaders, they need to make about 3 really important decisions every day. And in order to do that, what they need is a lot of sleep. So when you start to get more sleep, you'll actually make better decisions. You'll make better decisions and you'll experience fewer mistakes. And if you have a fear of making a mistake, you can also start to sleep more so you make better decisions. And as you have a track record of good decisions, that fear will disappear. So last night, I said to Nini at 8 p.m., I got to go to sleep. I jumped into bed with the kids. I was asleep by 9 o'clock. I got 9 hours of sleep. I woke up at 6 a.m. this morning and felt absolutely incredible. So here's the point. You need 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. And if you don't have 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night, you'll end up experiencing sleep deprivation. And to counteract that, you'll start to consume too much sugar. You'll drink too much coffee. You'll be drinking the sugary drinks. You'll be having the coffee just to try to stay awake. But eventually that leads to burnout. So what you got to learn is to get some good sleep. Marina, thank you for your contribution. I will list the to-do things for the following day and strike out the list as I progress through the day. Well done. I like that one. It's that sense of achievement, isn't it? Every time you complete a task, you get a flood of free drugs. You get a hit of serotonin, which is life's happy drug, and it all exists inside of here. Thank you for sharing. Jenny, 6 a.m., the golden hour. So important. 6 a.m., wake up. For me, first 9 minutes are my affirmations. Once I've done my 9 minutes of affirmations, off to the bathroom, brush the teeth, 1.5 liters of water, stretching. I've got my audio book in, stretching, 1,000 stairs, 5 kilometers walk, back by 7 a.m., ready to go for the day. Thank you for sharing, Jenny. Good job. Good job. So what I'd like to hear from you is I'd like to hear how you manage stress and what is working for you. And if you can share your thoughts with our influencers here in the community, all of us can learn from you also. So ladies and gentlemen, it has been wonderful to see you today. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Make sure you share a comment in the comments box below and share with us how you're managing your stress. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.